1 week and a stack of 5-star predictions. Let's see if I can find my next favorite book. Yes, you heard that right. I'm expecting 5-star reads across the board this week, and the truth lies in these books. We're putting them to the test. It's currently Tuesday night. I have about 5 books on my radar, and if I truly want to stick to just filming for 1 week, I'm obviously not going to get to all of these, but I do know which 2 we're starting with, so let me introduce those. The first book I will be reading in today's video is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, and if you've never heard me talk about my love for Magnolia Parks before, please take a look at this shelf behind me. I am in love with that series. I am lending out 2 of the books right here, but y'all get the point. So let's talk about why I think this will be a 5-star read for me, not just because she's written my favorite series, but because on Goodreads, this book has a 4.5-star rating with over 17,000 ratings. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty promising for me. And also, as much as I love the London atmosphere in those books, this one has some Southern family drama, and I do live in Texas. And although I have never said bless your heart, I have certainly heard it, and I'm just excited to see how Jessa brings this story to life. The next book I will be reading in this video, and I think I'm gonna read these 2 at the same time, and that is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I just recently read One Dark Window in my last vlog, and I have not wanted to pick this up because I do not want the series to end. It's only a duology and I'm just not ready. If you're not familiar with the synopsis of this duology, it is a gothic fantasy, and we have our main character Elspeth, who has this monster creature inside her head that talks to her. She calls it the Nightmare. And although it works with her and helps her in situations, it's also kind of taking over her mind. And yeah, she's trying to navigate that, and I'll leave it there. I gave that book a 5 stars easily, and that's why I think I'll do the same for this. But it also has a 4.41 star rating on Goodreads with over 350,000 ratings. I feel like that is so rare, so I'm very excited for this. Because it's already kind of late, it is almost 8 p.m. I think I'm gonna start off with this book just because I'm familiar with these characters and what's going on. I don't really want to learn something entirely new right now. I have already read the prologue in chapter 1 of this, but let's get started with our first 5-star prediction. I read 80 pages yesterday in one sitting, which is so good for me. Clearly, I am loving this. This is one of the prettiest descriptions I've seen for hazel eyes. Let me read it to y'all. It says, but her eyes were burning, vibrant hazel. They were the color of a green field punctuated by autumn leaves. Amber sap slipping over moss. Heat and life and anger. So much anger they flared, even in the darkness of his shadow. I love these 2. I'm scared. All right, hello. The last time y'all saw me, I was at the library picking up some holds, which I want to go over here in a second, but it is officially the weekend. It's Friday after work, so this vlog is about to get a little more interesting. Starting with braiding sweetgrass, this has been on my holds for so long and it was finally ready. This is a nonfiction book, which I don't read a lot of, but it says Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants. And I think its main purpose is to teach you that the land should not just be used as a resource, but treat it with respect and give back to it. So I'm very excited for this. The only thing I'm worried about is that I'm going to want to mark it up, and it is obviously a library copy, so I can't do that. Next up is Flower Heart, and I think this is a gorgeous cover. This is a young adult book and it is fantasy. We are following Clara and I think she's learning to tame her magic. She gets in a situation where her magic causes poisonous flowers to bloom in her father's chest. And so I think she has to learn how to control her magic to help fix that problem. And yeah, I feel like I might pick this up on audio. It was ready at the library, so I thought may as well. And the last book I grabbed was Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. This is her newest release. I don't know too much about this, but I know it follows siblings after their father dies. I don't think there's any fantasy aspects of this, maybe just literary fiction, but I am excited to this when I eventually get to it. Next up, I want to show y'all some of my latest estate sale finds. I've never done that on this channel, but I do film them a lot on TikTok. So if you're interested, go follow me over there. Starting off with the artwork I got these little prints. I think they're so girly and cute. I love them so much. And then I also found this little wooden like tree trunk slab with these mushrooms on it. I think I might put this on my bookshelf. I think it is so whimsical. Then when I found this, it had like a calendar pushed up into it. And so I might either do that or I'll just put like, you know, printed off photos up here, and I think I'm gonna hang it in our kitchen. I think that would be so cute. Then we have something I've been looking for the longest time. This is just something to hold your mugs. I feel like this is handmade and I'm gonna put it up there with all of my tea stuff. I'm so excited. And then I saved the best for last, and this definitely needs to be cleaned, but look at this beauty. I feel like the camera's not doing it justice, but it's these little metal butterflies with the candle holders. I am so excited to hang this somewhere. This is honestly one of my favorite estate sale finds of the year. I could not pass it up. And if you saw this in the background, I did grab a few things for my sister slash nephew's nursery. It's like vintage sports theme, and I found this racket and also some furniture that's in the garage. Yeah, you are now up to date. As for my current read, Two Twisted Crowns, I think I'm on page 170, so I still have like 200 pages to go. It's Friday night, so me and my husband are gonna do a sleepover, but I just don't think I can knock that out tonight. I don't know, we'll see. I was also thinking about going for like a picnic if it's not too hot, so maybe that's what the next clips will be. We'll see together. I'm here with one final update before I finish the book. I am on part 3, which I believe is the last part. It's called To Bend. I have a little over 100 pages left, I think, and I'm certainly nervous for what is going to happen here. I feel like I've been saying that while reading this duology every single time I film an update. So to share my thoughts, I obviously am nervous, but I'm also loving it so much. Specifically, the POVs we're getting. I don't know why, but in fantasy books, I really love when we have multiple POVs of characters on different quests. And I'm not gonna name any names, but say we have POV 1 doing something really intense and then the chapter ends and we go to the next POV that doesn't follow that. It just makes the reading experience more fun and goes by a lot faster, in my opinion. There's definitely one POV I wish there was more of, but no spoilers, so I'm not gonna say much. As for the pacing of this book, I have found myself wanting it to go a little faster, but I think that's just because I'm so eager to see how things are going to wrap up. I think the pacing is pretty good. But yes, like I said, I have a little over 100 pages. I'm going to sit on this couch until I finish it. So let's do this together. Alright, hello. The last time y'all saw me, I was down bad crying over the ending of Two Twisted Crowns. More so crying than the fact that it's over. I don't know if that tells you anything, but it was indeed our first 5-star read of this video. Yes, I am so glad I finally picked this up. I started this duology in my latest video, and I literally prefaced it with, I know I'm going to love this series, I just haven't gotten to it yet. And I don't know what convinced me to finally pick it up, but I'm so glad I did. I know that I'm not gonna stop thinking about this for a while. Other thing I wanna mention is that this is Rachel Gillig's first duology. Like, One Dark Window was her first book published, which is so impressive and wild because I'm obsessed with her writing. I love her magic system, and I will now read anything that she writes. I don't know how she got me so attached to these characters within the span of 2 books, but it felt like I was in an 8-book series or something like that. That's how deeply attached I got to them. With that being said, I almost gave this a 4.5 stars instead of a 5. Because of that one missing, lacking POV. Like, that really did impact it for me, but I have to give it a 5 stars. I'm not too hard to please. I had a fun time. This is a 5-star series for me. I'm obsessed. I will be rereading soon. Okay, moving on. I'm not starting the Jessa Hastings book yet because I'm going to start an audiobook. I'm actually going out of town tomorrow morning. Our flight's at like 5 a.m. and I haven't packed and I haven't cleaned my house, so I desperately need an audiobook to get me through that. And an audiobook I already have access to is Frederick Bachman's latest release, My Friends. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give y'all a synopsis of this yet because I want to go in blind without knowing anything. The only things I do know is that it's a literary fiction, and I think we're following a younger girl and then an older man and their unlikely friendship, maybe. I believe he's an artist who maybe painted this cover and she's like obsessed with it, and we kind of hear the stories behind the artwork and everything. I don't know. I'm going to start this audiobook, frantically pack, and I will get back to y'all with an update. Okay, hi. Clearly I'm in a different location. I wasn't planning on bringing y'all to vacation with me, but I've only read one book and I want to continue reading these potential 5 stars. So here we are. The last time y'all saw me, I was starting My Friends, so I want to give my update on that first. I'm on chapter 17 out of 62, and I'm not gonna lie, I was considering DNFing because I'm not into it right now, which, let's keep in mind, I'm still coming out of a book slump. I'm not over that. I feel so bad to say that because so many people have been giving this 5 stars and are loving it, and I think the only reason I'm not enjoying it is because it's so heavy, and maybe that's not what I'm in the mood for. This isn't a spoiler, it's literally a part of the synopsis, but we're dealing with grief of multiple people from different perspectives, and I don't know, it's so depressing, and sometimes you just want to escape that. So I'm pausing on that, but I did start The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, and I'm on page 141, which is chapter 19. Just a heads up that this is on Kindle Unlimited, and that's how I'm reading it. I'm actually in a book club on Fable with a few of my friends for this book, and it's so interesting to see what quotes we're picking up. I love doing my buddy reads on Fable, but this isn't sponsored or anything, it's just really nice. And it always shows how different we all are as readers and what we pick up on. It's so intriguing, I love it. Anyways, unfortunately I'm not loving this book quite yet, and I don't think there's any specific reason why, but like I said, I'm only on page 141 out of 460, so we've got a long ways to go. They have said bless your heart once, but yeah, it's that family Southern type drama. I love seeing the sibling dynamics. Sorry, I don't think I have much more to say other than that, which is just a progress on where I'm at. But I will let y'all know what I think of it as I continue reading. I'm gonna prioritize The Conditions of Will though. Okay, bye, let's go read on the beach. Alright, I am clearly home from vacation, and it's time to wrap up this video and talk about the 3 books I got to out of the 5 predicted 5 stars I had. Starting off with the only 5-star read that we found, that is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is a part of the Shepherd King duology by her, and as y'all remember, I rated the first one 5 stars, and this one, it's actually hard to say which of the 2 is my favorites because I like them both for different reasons. But y'all saw my reaction to the ending of this. I did not want to say goodbye to these characters. I have even thought about rereading this, like maybe even just on audio, but I miss them so badly. Next up, I do not physically own it, but The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Unfortunately, this was not a 5-star either. Y'all saw me start it on the plane, and despite being on vacation, I wanted to pick it up every chance that I got, and I was even staying up too late to read it. So clearly I was enamored with the story. I'm starting with the positives, clearly, but I really enjoyed that Jessa Hastings gave us a healthy, communicative relationship that is very rare from her, and I never thought I'd see the day. I also learned that I really enjoy family drama from this book, especially the fact that it was Southern, just because I could totally relate to what they were saying about the town and everyone gossiping and everything like that. I also really enjoyed the religious conversations some of our characters were having. I think it added a lot of depth. And lastly, 5 stars for Sam Penny. All right, now moving on to things that I didn't like. I know I just said I loved Sam Penny, who is our MMC, but this was totally a case of insta love and definitely was cringy at times. But like as a romantic, I didn't mind too much. But if that's something that really gets on your nerves, skip this, because I mean, we were like 2 days in and they were saying some crazy stuff. Another thing I didn't enjoy is that one of our main characters, like best friends, who we had all this drama related to, I feel like we did not know that individual at all. I don't know why I'm not saying his name. I'm referencing Oliver, her brother, who she cares so much for, but I feel like we didn't really get to know him at all. So I definitely found that annoying, and I don't think I told y'all like a big synopsis of this book. So all you really need to know is that our girl Georgia has not seen her siblings for like years and years. They don't have great relationships, but her father has passed away from a heart attack. So she goes home for like a week and a half maybe. So we get to see the dynamic of her family up until the funeral, after, and then the will reading. There was lots of drama, there was lots of secrets, and I was really entertained. As I told y'all, I could not put this down. So I'm being picky and giving that a 3.75 stars. That is exactly how I feel about it. And that's not too bad of a rating. Like I said, I enjoyed my time. Then we have My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I'm so sorry to say that I DNF'd this. I genuinely feel like I'm the only person in the world that DNF'd this. I stopped around chapter 18, which is page 127. That's a decent chunk in. Now let me explain, because Frederick Bachman is so talented. There's no denying that. I really enjoy his writing. There's some beautiful quotes in here. But for some reason, I really didn't care about our story or our characters. And also, like I told y'all earlier, it's very gut-wrenching. It is definitely a tough read. So maybe when I'm older, maybe when I'm more closer to the older character in here, I'll pick it up. Because there is a younger and older character, and I couldn't relate to either of them. And the younger character was actually kind of annoying me, which I think is on purpose, but. Okay, moving on. If you were just curious on the two books that I didn't get to, one of them is The Wedding People. I've heard amazing things about this, and I was considering picking this up once I DNF'd My Friends, but my mom told me it has a bit of a morbid start, so I didn't want to do that. And the last book that is a 5-star prediction for me is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, who I love dearly, but I'm just putting this off so much. I think because of the mixed reviews, I don't know. Okay, this outro has been long enough. Thank y'all so much for watching. Unfortunately, we only found one 5-star read, but that's like my new favorite series, so I'm not too mad about it. Until next time, goodbye guys.